Okay. So hi everyone, and welcome to our first ever virtual Q&A between the student athletes at Smith College and the Lazarus Center for Career Development at Smith. My name is Meaghan Abelein, and I will be the moderator today for the Q&A. But we're going to go ahead and get the ball rolling here. So I'm going to pass it over to our guests from the Lazarus Center to tell us a little bit about what they do, and then we're going to kick things off with Patty Woods. So Patty, you can go ahead and take it away.
Great, thanks Meg. Hi everyone, I'm Patty Woods and I'm an assistant director in the Lazarus Center for Career Development. I'm also a Smith College alum and a former student athlete. I'm the liaison to the Smith Athletics Department, so I'm your point person for making sure that you have access to and are aware of our career services on campus. As a career advisor, my role is to assist students in identifying personal goals, help students utilize relevant career resources available, and help them take action towards career opportunities. One thing that I wish students knew about career development is that it's fun. It's really a creative process. It's somewhat of a messy process, but I really wish that students knew that it is a process that can be learned. Like anything, it's always best to learn that earlier than later, so that you can really live your life in alignment with your values, interests, skills, rather than being reactive to whatever job comes your way and feeling like you don't have ownership over your decisions. So as a student athlete, you made the decision to play a particular sport because of particular skills and interests that you had. And at the Lazarus Center, we want to work with you towards helping you navigate decisions surrounding what skills and interests you want to pursue in career and employment. So that's a little bit about me, and I'd like to pass it over to my colleague, Ellie Mons.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Ellie Mons. I'm the Director of Health Professions Advising at Smith. Very often my program is referred to as pre-health. I am really happy to work with Smithies who are current students and also who are alums on their goals in the health professions. I work with not just pre-med, but with any health profession across the board. Including public health. And I look forward to chatting with you more today and certainly during advising appointments. One thing I wish more students knew about the Lazarus Center is that we're available all summer for appointments. So you don't have to wait during the academic year. And I will pass it over to Emily.
Hi, everybody. My name is Emily Beaudry. I am the internship coordinator at the Lazarus Center. I just started this position about a month before we all got sent home remote, so I didn't even really get a chance to get comfortable in it before we all went home. Mainly right now, my focus is all things Praxis and internship credit applications, answering a lot of student questions and guiding people through their application process. I'm also responsible for sort of putting together right now remote internship opportunities to send out to students and make sure that students know those exist. Yeah, my job is sort of taking shape as we go. So one thing I wish students knew about the Lazarus Center, I guess right now, I think it would be that just know that we're all so supportive of you, and I'm amazed at all of my coworkers, how hard everyone's working. I know everybody's at home. Everyone has different responsibilities with family and trying to work at home in weird circumstances. So just know that we're all still here for you. We're all very responsive to you. So use us if you need us. Oh, I'll pass it on to Daryl.
Hi, so my name is Daryl Gaiman. I'm also one of the assistant directors here at the Lazarus Center. I spend a lot of time working with students who are thinking about going to graduate school, professional schools such as law, business school, and I also assist Ellie with those who are thinking about going into health professions. You know, it's something to just work with a number of students at any point in their career, at any point at their time here at Smith, whether you're a first year or whether you're a senior or whether you're an alum. I think the one thing I wish people would know about the Lazarus Center is that we're here for anybody at any point along their path, and that everybody's path is going to be a little bit different. There's not one set rubric that everybody follows in order to get to their achieved goal. And that we're here to work with you, whether you have the specific question or whether it's really general in that respect. So I'd like to pass it along to Margaret Lamb.
Hi there, I'm Margaret Lamb. I'm the director of the fellowships program at the Lazarus Center. That means I advise students and recent alums on fellowships and other competitive opportunities that fit their circumstances and plans. I help applicants get ready to prepare the most competitive applications they can. You talk, I listen, and ask questions designed to help you clarify and plan. I guess the thing that I wish students knew about the Lazarus is that you don't have to have everything figured out before you come and talk with us. Whether you come into the office or whether you meet us remotely, as is the case right now. We can help you give practical expression to your gut feelings and your dreams at the same time as you think very concretely about resumes, internships, and jobs, and all of the other things that you need to take care of yourself. We help you to figure out how to make progress in big ways or in small ways, progress toward your longer term goals.
And then I think we're going to move over to Kate.
Hi everyone, my name is Kate Trascus and I'm the Assistant Director of Employer Relations in the Lazarus Center. So I work with cultivating relationships with employers and bringing those employers to campus who are recruiting Smithies. So this is a really big push to make sure that as many opportunities as possible are presented for you. And part of that does include our Handshake platform, which I'll be talking more about in a little bit. What I wish that people knew about the Lazarus Center is that we have M&Ms in the lobby. And so it's a sweet treat to come just anytime during the day. There's always somebody smiling to meet you, and it's a great group of people. So we hope to see you soon.
Wow, thank you guys so much. Great to hear from everybody, and really, really happy to have you all here today to talk to our student athletes. We really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your days to do this. So we're going to move along to the question and answer portion of the webinar. We have members here from our Student Athlete Advisory Committee to ask you guys a few questions and kind of learn a little bit more about what you guys do and what you guys can offer now during the school year and over the summer. So I think Chani is ready with our first question. So I'm going to pass it right over to Chani.
Hi, I'm Chani. I'm a sophomore on the field hockey team, and I was wondering, how do we first get involved with the Lazarus Center and career advising? Even if I don't know what I want to do with my life, what do you recommend our first interactions be?
I can take that, Chani. This is a great question. I think a common misconception by students is that you need to know what industry or occupation you're interested in order to come talk to us. And that's not true at all. For most of us in the Lazarus Center, that's our favorite type of student to work with, the student who's presenting challenges. I don't know what I want to do with my life. Our role as career advisors is to unpack that loaded statement and help you reframe it into smaller, more actionable ways of learning the process of career exploration and what it is you want to do with your life. In terms of that first interaction, I don't think there is one right way in terms of how you engage with us, but more that you do engage with us. So for example, you might choose to engage with us by listening to a recorded webinar from our website. Someone else might schedule an appointment with us, which are now all virtual over Zoom. Someone else might respond to a question that we post on Handshake. Or excuse me, someone else might respond to a question we post on our Facebook page, while another student might log in and attend a virtual employer information session. So it's all good as long as you do engage, and we always say, you know, sooner rather than later is always helpful, just mostly because we want to meet with you. Hope that answers your question, Shani.
Hi, I'm Kate and I'm a junior on the rowing team. And my question is, how does Handshake work? Is there a way that I could set up a search and be notified every time a new job gets added that like matches my criteria?
Hi, Kate. I am going to take this one, and to do that, I'm going to share my screen with you. So let's see. I will. Okay, so this is the Handshake platform. Can everyone see that? Yeah, okay. So once you've created an account and you log in, this is the landing page. And Handshake is really where students and employers meet. So we have thousands of approved employers who are in Handshake. And then Smithies, with your Smith email account, you can easily get set up to create an account. And what you'll find in here are jobs. Also, you can search by employers. There's a community feature where you can ask questions of other students from Smith or elsewhere and get advice. You can check career paths, events, and then the Lazarus Center resources are also available. And this is a great place to go to find out what we have already curated for you as far as resources go. So again, if you click resources, and these are different subscriptions that we have to specific resources. So I just wanted to highlight that as well. Let's go back out to the landing page. So let's say you are interested in searching for a job. What you want to do is click on filters, and then we'll just go through this process of setting up some filters. So let's say I'm looking for an internship, full-time, and also maybe a full-time job too. So just to keep my avenue wide, let's say. There's some other kind of more specific things that you can look into, but I'm going to keep this pretty broad for right now. And let's take a look at what industry we're interested in searching. So I am going to go all the way down to the bottom, and let's imagine that we're looking at sports and leisure. You can see down here in the bottom that that is pulling up 318 jobs for us. If I go to job function, I'm going to go with this suggestion of education, teaching, and training. Now it's pulling 282 jobs. So I'm going to check these out. So now I can scroll through and see all the jobs that are coming up for me. If there's ones that I'm interested in, I can star them and then go back to them later when I'm ready to apply. And I want to make sure that I'm saving this search. So Handshake does a great job of prompting you with, hey, don't miss this, save your search. So I'm going to click Save My Search. And then let's say later you want to come back to this, this search and update your notifications. So what you're going to do is click on your little profile name, go to notifications, edit notification preferences. And so now here's that internship, that search that I did. If I want to, I can also edit that and name it something else so it's clearer for me. But if I click on email alerts, so here's where I could edit it, and then I can specify how I want to be notified and when. And that is pretty much it when it comes to doing a search and making sure that you save it and get notifications. So you can do this several times with different searches. That's my sports and leisure one. Maybe I'll do one that has to do with marketing, whatever it might be. The other thing is if you have an employer specific that you want to keep in contact with, right? Or you want to stay up to date on what they're doing. You can do something similar in using your filters to search for a kind of employer. So again, maybe beginning with industry, if we stick with sports and leisure still on here somewhere. Well, it doesn't matter. I can pick advertising and marketing. And then maybe I want to be location specific this time. So I'll choose Boston. And now this will filter employees for me that meet those criteria. And again, I can choose to follow certain employers. And so that's another great way to really just stay engaged in Handshake and get as much information that's, curated to your specific needs as possible.
I have a question. So my name is Kaylee Johnson and I am a junior on the volleyball team. And I have a two-part question. So my first part is, when writing a resume or interviewing for a job, what do you believe are qualities or characteristics that student athletes should really highlight or emphasize? And then from my own experience, I know that writing a cover letter is often very time consuming, just not a lot of fun. So do you recommend having a cookie cutter kind of cover letter and just changing a few words every now and then? Or do you recommend writing a new cover letter every time you send out your resume?
So I can answer this because you're on the volleyball team and I live in Holyoke, and Holyoke is the birthplace of volleyball. So I'll go for it. Students can student athletes can and should have athletics on their resume under a section that might be called leadership experience. According to the National Association of Colleges and Employers, the top 3 transferable skills employers seek are communication, problem solving, and teamwork. So as athletes, you have demonstrated these skills and then some for sure. So in your bullet points on your resume under your athletic experience, make sure that you have these skills and are highlighting these skills with concrete examples. And then in terms of your cover letter, you will need to tailor your cover letter to each specific job you apply for. But once you learn the format of a cover letter and the art of cover letter writing, this becomes very much less time consuming for you. So remember that your resume tells the story of who you are, but you really need that cover letter because you have to talk to the employer about why you want the job and how you will add value. So those two documents really go hand in hand and support each other.
Hi, my name's Lucy and I'm a junior on the crew team. And I'm someone who, generally feels very nervous before and during interviews. And I was wondering if the Lazarus Center provides any resources for students to help, practice and become more comfortable with interviews.
I can take that one. I too get nervous before an interview. And especially now, all of these interviews are happening through a screen, which adds a whole nother layer to interviewing. And so the Lazarus Center does have some resources. One is Interview Stream. And the way that you can find Interview Stream back in Handshake under the Lazarus Center resources, you can scroll down and you'll find Interview Stream. This is a great resource because what you do is actually a mock interview and you film yourself and then you can watch it back. So it's great to be able, instantly you can be like, ooh, that worked well, or I better try that again. There's also interviews in there that you can watch and see how other people are doing. So, so that's a great resource. The other thing would be to schedule an appointment with one of the advisors. And we do mock interviews with students regularly. So it's really great just to bounce those questions, have an advisor stump you, and then work through what's my answer going to be for this so that I'm not stumped in the moment. And really, with interviewing, yes, have your questions, have your story, but also be yourself. I mean, I think employers want to see who you are, and it's as much about that kind of people connection as well. So I hope that helps.
Hi everyone, I'm Karina. I'm a junior on the cross country, basketball and track. And my question is, so students' opportunities, jobs, and internships have been removed or generally upheld because of COVID-19. So I'm just wondering how we can still make, and is any job thing at this point, even if it's related to our major?
So I can answer that question, and then I promise I'll let other people jump in. You're breaking up a little bit, so I'll just repeat the question. And that was what to do if a full-time job or an internship has been rescinded due to COVID. I think I'm getting the question correct. It's completely disappointing to have your job or internship rescinded due to COVID, and I fully give you permission to take a day or a week to stay in bed and eat lots of ice cream if this has happened to you. However, when that's done, the resiliency that you have built as a student athlete will serve you very well to rebound and create another opportunity. Not knowing what everybody's interested in, I'll just give you a couple of bullet points. We currently have 400 remote internships in our Handshake system. We also have a number of micro internships, which are short-term paid professional opportunities ranging from 5 to 40 hours, which are listed on our website under the Internships tab. We have 300 remote full-time jobs in Handshake, and we have over 7,000 full-time positions overall in Handshake. So the bottom line is there are opportunities out there and employers are still hiring. And I believe you were talking about, does this have to be directly related at all to my major? And your job or internship absolutely does not need to be directly related to your major. And any of the career advisors would be excited to talk to you a little bit more about why that is. It's mainly about transferable skills and using your liberal arts education in a variety of different ways. So definitely schedule a one-on-one appointment to talk to us more about that. The last thing I'll say about what to do when you're in the middle of trying to find or rebuilding, recreating a job or internship is to take this time to skill up, as they're saying, and take advantage of all the free online classes that are out there offered by Coursera, MIT, Stanford, LinkedIn Learning, and many others. Any of these classes can be added to your resume, and they're great responses to employers when they say, how have you used your time during COVID? So definitely think about taking advantage of free classes as well.
Thank you.
I have another question. What students should consider meeting with a pre-health advisor? Is pre-health advising only for pre-med students, or how does that work?
I will take that. I like to see students as early as possible in their time at Smith. The first years will see me during several programs at orientation and during the semester for other events. So I hope that encourages first years to come in early and start the conversation. Even if you are a student who is not sure about whether or not she wants to go into a health profession, that's a great place to start a conversation with me or with Daryl, because we both do the pre-health advising. And then I am really happy to say we work with all students looking at any of the health professions. We are definitely not limited to pre-med students. Granted, that does seem to be our largest group of students overall, but we are working with dental and pharmacy and veterinary and PA and nursing and public health and a wide variety of health professions areas. So come in early, come to our events, the Friday lunch bags or Wednesday sessions. I host a lot of alums who work in different healthcare fields, and they make some terrific presentations to help you learn more about different areas. And, you know, even if you're not quite sure what you want to do, you know, maybe it works out for you that you end up finding out is when you're an alumna and you want to come back and work with us, we can do that too. I will say another note about majors. You do not need to be a science major to be a great candidate for a health professions program. Study what you love at Smith because it's a great place to study a wide variety of subjects. Yes, there are certain prerequisite classes that you have to take depending on what health profession you're going towards, but there's a lot of overlap there. And Daryl and I and our board of faculty advisors, who are 7 professors we also work with as advisors, we can help you plan what that's going to look like. And you may finish them all at Smith, your prerequisites. You may finish some, or you may end up doing some of them after you graduate, which is great too, while you're out working and gaining clinical and other relevant experience. So I hope that helps, and I hope to see you early on at your time at Smith.
So I have another question. Throughout my time at Smith, I've heard a lot about like praxis internships. I was just wondering if somebody could explain what a praxis internship is, like what are the benefits of it? How does it differ from a regular internship? And like, I know that we talked kind of like in the past about like getting Smith credit for an internship. So is like that still a possibility? Does it have anything to do with praxis? Kind of et cetera.
Hi, I'll take that one. And just so you know, I made some notes over on my other screen, so I'm going to be sort of referring to those to make sure I don't miss any of the parts of your question. So a praxis internship is when Smith essentially pays you a stipend to do an internship that would otherwise be unpaid. There's a lot of qualifications involved that are all listed on our website, but I'll go over a few of them. Praxis is just for sophomores and juniors, although first years can apply, and we sort of review them on a case-by-case basis. Contrary to popular belief, Praxis is not built into your tuition. It's actually funded by alum donations. And usually your Praxis internship is somehow connected to your overall educational goals, but it doesn't necessarily have to connect to your major. It offers substantial learning opportunities and significant career exploration opportunities. It takes place at it takes place with an organization where interns are not paid. And it's supervised by someone in the organization with enough expertise to really provide a good learning experience for you. And it usually requires a meeting with your supervisor at least once a week. Obviously, I'll get to sort of the changes to Praxis that have come with the COVID situation. In other words, the meetings with the supervisor are obviously virtual this year. As for the benefit of Praxis, it basically allows students to earn money for internships that they otherwise might not have been able to undertake because they were unpaid. It also really benefits employers like small nonprofits and startups and things like that who couldn't have an intern because they couldn't pay them before. So it really opens up a lot more opportunities for students because we're footing the bill for the internship stipend. Let's see. Praxis internship is different from other internships, I guess because a little more work is required on your end. You know, you do have to submit an application, which consists of, this year our application is all online. It was just launched right before we all got sent home for COVID, so all of a sudden it's all online. But it's an online form that you just have to fill out. There's a few separate forms that you have to have a faculty fill out or your supervisor fill out that have to be uploaded into the application as you go through it. I'm happy to answer any of those questions privately if anyone needs help. And then at the end of your Praxis internship, you actually have to complete a couple other small things in order to get your final payment of $200. So that's the one way it differs from an internship you would do independent of Smith funding. And as for the internship credit question, this is also the first year that we are offering internship credit. That was just launched earlier this year. Actually, by our office and a few other people on campus got together and made this happen. So students may apply. The students who usually apply for internship credit are international students who need it for their CPT. Or sometimes you're trying to do an internship where your host organization only will hire interns who are receiving credit from their college. So basically, once you receive approval from us for internship credit, that's like your registration in this, it's a class called IDP 117. And once you complete the internship, you get this quarter credit on your transcript. Credit internships can be paid or unpaid. You can even combine your credit application with a Praxis application. We have a separate application online just for that. So there's a lot of options there. A few other things I just want to make sure everyone knows about Praxis. Obviously, a lot of things had to change this year. Previously, there was a rule that remote internships were not allowed for Praxis, and in 2020, only remote internships are allowed for Praxis. So we do need, on the supervisor confirmation form, we do need confirmation that the internship will be conducted remotely. However, we've reduced the number of hours required. It used to be 220, now it's 120, although we of course encourage people to work as many hours as they can. And we've also extended the deadline quite a bit for Praxis and for the internship credit application all the way till August 3rd. So you sort of have the whole summer to figure out and secure a remote internship. But of course, the earlier you apply, the earlier you'll be approved and get your funding. And like I said, the applications are completely online now, which has been a fun thing to navigate, from afar, but it's working out great. I think students are liking it. And yeah, finally, I guess a lot of the questions surrounding Praxis are very specific to student situations. I get a lot of emails about like, what if this and what if that, and lots of scenarios. And I welcome those. So please don't hesitate to reach out and ask if you have any specific questions, because we want to get students approved. That's our goal, especially this year more than any other year. We really want to help people find these opportunities and then get them funded for these opportunities. So Beaudry@smith.edu.
When should I think about applying for graduate school? And does everyone need to even go to that?
Okay, and I'll take care of that question. Going to grad school is a real individualized decision that everybody makes for themselves. I think going to graduate school, we have people who go directly to graduate school immediately after Smith. We have students who go 2-3 years after Smith. We have students who go for 5 or 10 years after Smith. And there's some students who do not go to grad school because it may not be necessary for them, whether it be on a personal reason or a professional reason. I think people need to think for themselves as to why they want to go and when's going to be the best time for them to go. I think there are things you can be doing right now to be preparing for graduate school. You can be thinking about talking with your professors about your path, about your decisions, about your plan of action as to what you want to be doing. You can be talking to professors and alums and finding out what was their career path like, what did they do, what made it right for them. And again, I think you want to determine what is the reason why you want to be going to grad school. For some students, it might be on a professional level. Going to grad school might be required for the type of position that they want to go into. Going to grad school might be a way to move themselves up within the career field that they're currently working in. Going to grad school may provide different options for different types of career fields that they want to go into. Going to grad school can also be because there's a subject that you just truly enjoy studying and you want to go into more depth. It could be something that you may have worked on as a senior on the senior thesis, and now you just want to keep on continuing that study and go into more depth and really become maybe an expert within that field and within that topic. And so that could be a reason why you want to go on to graduate school. To go to grad school, you don't want to go to grad school simply because you don't know what else to do. And sometimes when economic times are a little tough, people go to grad school because they go, if I go to grad school, maybe in 2 years, things are going to be a lot better and it will be easier to find a job. But again, like I said, going to grad school shouldn't be a default. It should definitely be a goal. It should be a journey. It should be a purpose for why you want to go there. And so I would say probably about 75% of Smith students will go to grad school. It might be a little bit higher, but there's definitely a number of students who will find success and be very happy with their lives without having to go to grad school. But again, you want to think about the types of things that are going to be required. So typically you want to probably plan about 12 to 18 months in advance of when you're thinking about going to grad school, so that you have time to prepare your academics, you have time to prepare your letters of recommendation, you have time to prepare and take the GRE or any other type of graduate admission test. And you want time to reflect, to think about what are you going to write in that personal statement to help convince and to help an admissions office understand why you want to attend graduate school, and probably more specifically, why you want to attend their graduate school. So again, we in the Lazarus Center are here to work with you on your journey and on your path in determining a plan and strategy for what you want to do. But definitely, as I said before, get to know your professors and talk with them, because they were once you. They were once sitting in your seats as a first year, as a junior, as a senior, trying to determine what should I do and how do I get to grad school. They also will be wonderful resources for you to have.
I have another question. I'm curious about what a fellowship is, what one might look like, and when someone should consider applying for a fellowship.
Okay, I've got this one. So in general, fellowships are merit scholarship or grants for formal education or educational experiences. They help you do what you really want to do. And they're often connected with the graduate school question that Daryl's just been talking about. I would say that start early. Start thinking about how you can make yourself a better candidate for the competitive awards that you're interested in or may be interested in while you're a first year or a sophomore. A few of the prestigious scholarships are open to sophomores and juniors to apply. The Goldwater Holling Scholarship and the Udall are all undergraduate scholarships that provide substantial benefits that go well beyond the scholarship aid that they also provide. The Beinecke and Truman Award scholarships, for which students can apply in their junior year, actually provide scholarship funds that can be used in graduate school. By the time you're a junior or senior and maybe starting to think about graduate school on the timeline that Daryl suggested, the focus of the conversation with me as a fellowships advisor is likely to be on the substantial awards that will last for a year or more, and awards for which you can apply in the senior year or start to apply for in the senior year. These fellowships include graduate scholarships like the National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship. It funds 3 years of graduate school for 1,500 to 2,000 awardees across the United States. There are also the prestigious British Isles scholarships that include awards like Churchill, Gates, Mitchell, Marshall, and Rhodes. These are all prestigious names, but they're for studying either at the master's level or beyond in particular programs that suit particular people. Many of those graduate scholarships are also open to recent graduates to apply for. So this isn't something that is a one-shot opportunity fall of senior year. Many of these awards continue to be open for a number of years after graduation. So I would say, in general, start the conversations early about the possibilities and what might make you a stronger candidate for competitive awards. Keep the conversations going and then apply when you're ready. Apply when you know why you want to go to graduate school and know what you would get from the particular fellowship program.
I have a question. I have an informational interview coming up with a Smith alum. What types of questions do you recommend I ask? And to piggyback off of that, what's the correct etiquette when reaching out to alums for advice, jobs, or connections for internships?
Sure, I can take that one. So first off, awesome. Awesome that you have an informational interview. The more conversations you can have to learn about career paths, the better. Alums typically respond to inquiries from students when they are concise, specific, and doable. For example, a short email to an alum requesting a 20-minute phone conversation to learn more about entry-level roles in sales. That's doable versus, hey, can I talk to you tonight around 9 p.m. because I'm not really sure what I should do with my life. That's a little bit too broad and can feel very overwhelming to someone receiving that email. So how you make that ask for the career conversation or that informational interview, that's something a career advisor can help you with in a one-on-one advising session. In terms of questions to ask, first, my question to you would be, what is it about this individual that made you want to have a career conversation with them to begin with? Perhaps you saw the alum's LinkedIn profile and you saw that she played the same sport as you at Smith and now works for an organization or an industry that you're really curious about. Maybe you would like to know what the top skills are that she uses at her current job, and you might want to learn how to leverage those same skills at Smith. Maybe you want to know what insight she has now that she wished she had known when she was an undergraduate at Smith. So really, truly let your curiosity guide you. And if you've done your research on that Smith alum that you're going to speak with, and you're really authentic and genuine, you've already set yourself up for a great conversation to have with them. There's really no wrong question, except the questions that specifically ask for a job, an internship, or a place to live, quite frankly. So that being said, we do have general questions on our website under the handouts tab for more sample questions on informational interviewing and having these conversations with alums. Great question.
Thank you so much, Patty, and thanks everybody for joining us today. We have time for just a few more questions, 1 or 2 more questions, or if anyone has any closing things that they want to mention that they haven't heard mentioned today from the Lazarus Center. So if anybody has any closing statements or questions left, we can take those now.
I have a question.
Kaylee, all right.
I know for student athletes, it's often very hard sometimes get to like the employer info sessions because of practice or games. So if that situation like does come up for athletes, like how can we reach out to the Lazarus Center to maybe like get in contact with this interviewer or get some time with them throughout the day when we're actually free? Or is it not possible?
Sure, I'm happy to.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, Kate, go ahead.
Well, fill in, Patty, because I'm sure that you will have more information than I do. So we totally recognize that that is something really difficult for athletes, and our employers come at a certain set time. We are happy to share contact information with the employers who are coming to campus, because they are obviously choosing Smith and they want to connect with Smithies. And so if you can't make it to be there at the physical or virtual session, we're more than happy to connect you after the fact.
Thank you. I absolutely echo what Kate said, and I'll just add to it that employers love athletes because you've already figured out like I said, the communication, problem solving, foresight, time management. You have a variety, that competitive drive. You have a lot of the things that they're typically looking for in a candidate. So they want to connect with you. And if that's the reason that you can't make it to their virtual or their in-person information session or to a career fair because you have an obligation through athletics, they definitely want to hear from you.
Great, thank you so much, Patty. Does anybody else have any final questions or final thoughts?
One final thought I would add is that many of the things that we've talked about today, the resources, the links to Handshake, the links to health advising, the links to fellowships, all start at the Lazarus Center's homepage. So exploring is a big section on that homepage. It has links to the areas we've talked about. Go there, explore, get to know in more detail the things we've started talking about.
And if I can add, piggyback on that, the Lazarus Center also has a YouTube channel, and there are 6, 7, 10 presentations, webinars, info sessions. For example, the question about connecting with alums, we have a presentation recorded there. You're looking for summer internships, we have a presentation about that recorded there. Plus there are a lot of other materials, so I would strongly recommend that you have a look at those as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much, everybody. That's about all the time we have today to talk with our student athletes, but we really, really appreciate everyone from the Lazarus Center coming out today to talk to the student athletes about some of their questions that they might have. And students of SAC, we really appreciate you guys taking the time to represent the student athlete population and ask some really great questions to the Lazarus Center. So again, that's all we have time for today. So I really appreciate everybody coming out. Thank you so much.